Hey guys, I'm Ryan King with the Tennessee Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We're here with Justin Grainert from the Chattanooga Chamber and Miranda McDonald from the Nashville Chamber. And guys, just thankful you guys could join us. How's everybody doing?
Thank you for having me. Doing well.
Yeah, I think it's sort of this new world order of working from home, us getting sort of figure out a new way of doing things, but so far so good down here.
Yeah.
It's you're right. It's different times, and I think we've all been talking. Our businesses membership is under a lot of stress right now, and it's really put our organizations under a lot of stress too. So it's
Absolutely.
been a very fun-filled few days, to say the least.
For sure.
Yeah.
I will say, though, I think it's been really encouraging to watch our team sort of come together, tackling technology, figuring out how to use Microsoft Teams or Zoom. And, it's been a lot of fun. We had our first all-staff meeting today, which was interesting, but really great to kind of see everybody sort of jump in and really sort of have each other's backs. It's been a lot of fun to sort of see that in sort of this uncertain time we're all facing.
Yeah, well, so we talked a little before we jumped online here. We're just really wanting to provide some resources for all of our members really to be able to use. There's a lot of uncertainty around some of the local orders. Miranda, yours, I guess, coming first in Nashville. Before we jump into that, you've been doing something kind of fun on social media. We've all been snacking while we've been in isolation, right?
Yes. So every week since we've been at home, I've been trying to, recycle out my snacks. So yesterday I posted on Twitter just asking people to give me recommendations on things. But this week, my snacks are the Blue Diamond almonds. The bold flavor, so the wasabi and soy sauce. But then I also like balance, so I also have the Sweet Tart Chewies. So those are my favorites. So that's what's keeping me afloat this week. But next week it may be goldfish and pickles. Who knows?
I'll be honest. I'm pretty consistent, and I would love to have a box with me. But I finished my last oatmeal cream pie today. So shout out to our friends at Little Debbie.
Little Debbie.
I have to keep. That's right. I keep a jar of Skittles with me at all times. So those sort of help keep me going.
That's good.
Very good. I make a weekly run to Sam's. Anybody who knows me knows that I am a big fan of Tennessee agriculture. So
okay,
I keep my beef jerky. It's about time to refill that. If that gets demanded anything like toilet paper does, then, I'll fall to a new state of depression.
Yeah.
Let's get right into it, guys. We've had fun for a minute here, but it really is a very serious time and something that's really unprecedented for our state and our nation. And it's really cool that we're able to come together like we are right now to try to overcome some of this. Just to kind of, paint us a picture of what some of the dynamics look like in your community, Justin, Miranda. It's all different, and you guys know Tennessee's we're a diverse state, but we very much care about our neighbors, and I think that's first and foremost. So Nashville, Chattanooga, what are things looking like there? And then get in just a little bit to some of these local orders or protections that some of the local governments have put in place there.
Sure, and I can start if that's helpful. But Nashville is a resilient city. We are actually in the unique position where we are rebuilding and recovering from the recent tornado. So we have a natural disaster paired with a pandemic. So we're in a unique position, and that resolve has been at the forefront of everything that we've done for the past 3 to 4 weeks. It's funny that you ask about like what the community is doing. I just heard kids, riding their bikes on the sidewalk. The community is taking advantage of the things that they can participate in, the things that they can do. You can ride a bike, you can visit a park. You're encouraged to stay home because you want to limit the exposure of not only other people, but people that are immunocompromised and are in different physical positions. So people are staying at home. They're adjusting to the executive order, which I'm sure I'll get into some more detail shortly. But we have our resolve, and we're trying to comply, and businesses are trying to read between the lines, and then also, if there are any questions, kind of get some more answers as to how that affects them.
Very similar. Obviously, we're not dealing with a tornado, so our thoughts are with you guys as you guys handle that as well. But again, we've had a couple of we've only had 8 cases here in Hamilton County so far, so we haven't been hit quite as hard. I think they've done 200 tests so far, roughly. I will say that we've gotten a lot of questions, obviously. Sort of, what does this all mean? How does carry out work? Can they sell alcohol? So some of those questions that aren't necessarily as clear as some of these executive orders have come out from the county and the city. We've really tried our best to get in front of and answer for our members. Obviously, our elected officials and their staffs have a lot of things going on right now. So any way we can be a resource and taking those calls off of them, I think, is really important for us. And we've spent a ton of time talking to our members. We've got our whole, and again, it's a lot of they don't really know what's coming next. But I think there's an absolute resolve. It's been really fun to have these conversations. They are really appreciative of our efforts to keep them informed. I think a lot of it is they're focused on keeping their lights on, and keeping their employees, on the payroll, even though we're all kind of working remotely. So for us to be able to kind of help provide them the information that they don't have to necessarily go find, I think has been really key. Our communications and marketing team is working work around the clock to keep our website up to date, our social media feeds up to date with as much information as possible. So we can really try to be a one-stop shop for our members.
Yeah, good stuff. Of course, Governor Lee hasn't really implemented just a blanket policy on issuing an executive order. We've seen lots of those come out over the course of the last week, addressing everything from unemployment insurance to daycare mandates, and expansion to maybe deregulating some daycares and other things, but no blanket order. But some of these local orders will preside in those cases. Right. Yes. Miranda, tell us a little bit, because Nashville's is probably the most in-depth we have, and definitely the most newsworthy, because it's really, you guys are really the economic driver for a lot of the state.
Exactly.
So we've got agriculture, rural communities that play a big part economically too, but in terms of sales tax generation, certainly no doubt.
Right. And that's a position that we don't take for granted. We understand that our position as a regional chamber, that means that by facilitating community leadership, that means engaging not only the leadership in Davidson County, but all of our surrounding counties as well. So we understand the importance of making sure that we bridge those gaps and have those lines of communication open to create the continuity. But just to talk about the mayor's executive order, which was implemented yesterday and began at 12:01, it's the Safer at Home executive order. And so that is essentially it is an amped up version of social or physical distancing. So you're still allowed to go to the grocery store. You're allowed to go to the pharmacy to pick up your prescriptions. You can take your dog to the vet. You can do all these essential services because these essential businesses are still going to be open. But if you do need to go out, you're encouraged and admonished, and you are told to stay at least 6 feet away from people. I mentioned going to get snacks from Walgreens the other day, and when I went in, or yesterday, and when I went in, they had like the blue tape in the checkout line to that's 6 feet apart. So to make sure that they're enforcing the distancing, it's still providing those services in that business. So that is where we are right now with the executive order. The mayor has done daily press conferences since the 18th, along with the Metro Public Health Department, just to give a brief update and summary as to our increase in cases, how many we have per day, as well as to give an update on the testing circumstances. A lot of the Metro services have taken a lot of leadership positions and kind of changing the way that they do business. So for instance, the sheriff's office has suspended evictions. The Metro Water Service has suspended disconnections and has also waived late fees for the month of March. So we're seeing a lot of Metro departments that are making sure that civilians and citizens and residents are included, in that they can alleviate those burdens that this places on them. And just as Justin mentioned, a lot of the restaurants that we have here, they do offer to-go and delivery services. So we're still able to take advantage of those. You just cannot sit in the establishment because you wouldn't be in compliance with the 6 feet or the executive order itself.
Right, and similar here. It's been a little more staggered, I think, the reactions. But we have the restaurant carry out delivery services only, so no sit down restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Limits to the number of people that can be in any given event. Yesterday, Mayor Burke, the city of Chattanooga mayor, issued a sort of executive order on what specific retail needs to close. So he didn't go so far as to say essential, non-essential, but malls, indoor retail, beauty salons, barbershops, nail salons, tattoo parlors, entertainment venues like bowling alleys are all asked to be shut down for the time being. Obviously, grocery stores, liquor stores, funeral parlors, pharmacies, hardware stores, those that kind of provide those sort of essentials are still open, as well as manufacturing. Manufacturing is still open and going. Obviously, in the executive order, it requires them to comply with the CDC requirements of space and cleaning and access to hand sanitizer and breaks to wash their hands, and all of those sort of things to help keep an outbreak from happening. But for now, that's really the extent of it. I know Hamilton County announced a declaration, an emergency declaration yesterday to help access some federal funds and state funds as they come along as we sort of address this. But, a lot of our work, again, is trying to figure out what those details are for our members, especially ones that haven't seen the executive order or have just heard about it, through the newspaper or on social media, and want clarification. That's really what we're trying to provide for our members. But all in, everybody has been, really sort of doing their part to, keep their space, keep their distance, and we're really just trying to do the best we can to flatten the curve and hopefully minimize the disruption that we're all sort of feeling.
Yeah, flatten the curve.
Yeah, and hey, I think you said it best, Justin, when we started the call here. It's our place to kind of be that one-stop shop and that resource. And I think a lot of businesses are turning to us for that, and hopefully we can do that. Kind of in that same vein, we get lots of questions almost on an hourly basis about I am a manufacturing facility. Miranda alluded to that earlier. How do I know if I'm essential? How do I know if I'm non-essential? I think I'm essential. Certainly, we've heard lots about this Department of Homeland Security guidance document, which I understand will be amended in the coming days and is being amended as we speak. All manufacturing is critical in our mind, and when you start talking about those once, twice, 3 times removed suppliers that supply these critical manufacturers that provide supplies to hospitals and defense and some of these others that are very specifically laid out, it's vast. So all manufacturing is critical. What are some of y'all's experiences? Maybe some specific or non-specific examples that you've got relative to that.
Well, as you mentioned, a lot of this is being amended and a lot of this is learning as you go. So today I actually had a call with the company that provides steel resources for that's provided by, Home Depot or Walmart. So they are providing the essential services, but wanted some clarification as to whether they would have to comply with the mayor's executive order. So in that vein, there's a lot of blurred lines when it comes to figuring out who is essential, who's not essential. But in the grand scheme of things, everyone seems essential because, there's like that interconnectedness and the symbiosis of importance. But I've been in contact with the mayor's office, with his staffer that's handling this. So my point of action at this point in time is whenever I get a request, I send it over. And then the mayor's office, they've done a good job with providing a one-stop shop website for everything related to COVID-19. So on their website, it's asafenashville.org. They have a tab where you can submit a request, and a lot of the requests are related to clarifications that come from the executive order. So, as far as businesses wanting clarification, the mayor's office is providing that on a subject case basis.
Right, and again, from Chattanooga's perspective, we haven't gone so far as to deem essential and non-essential. So, everybody that's not a retail store that sort of has high traffic, we haven't gotten that far yet here in Chattanooga. But as those things happen, again, we remain dialogues are open with the mayor's office for clarity on what that means. And again, I think, time will tell. Hopefully we don't have to go there here in Chattanooga, but I think the option is there to sort of, again, take that step if we need to, but hopefully we don't have to go that far.
Yeah, let's get everybody healthy and get back to work and get back to where we were with this economy. Real quick, let's close it down, guys. How do we get more information about what you guys are doing locally and some of your COVID-19 efforts? How do we get in touch with you guys specifically with questions?
Well, my email is mmcdonald@nashvillechamber.com. And I would be remiss if I did not mention that we have 2 webinars coming up this week. So the first one is on Thursday. Let me pull up the more information. It's on Thursday, but it's related to the tornado recovery response. And then on Friday, and we're doing that event along with the Small Business Administration. And then we're also teaming up with the Nashville Entrepreneur Center for that webinar on Thursday. And on Friday, we're having a similar event, but it's tailored towards guiding businesses as to how they can manage their services and their businesses during this time related to COVID-19. So that is going to be on Friday. And we have that information on our website, which is nashvillechamber.com. And we also have a summary for the recent federal stimulus package, the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. So we're tracking everything that comes out of DC, federal legislation, as well as what's happening at the state and local level.
Yeah. Again, you can find us on the web at ChattanoogaChamber.com. You can email me directly at jgreinert, GROENERT, at ChattanoogaChamber.com. If you go to our website, obviously, the top lines, we've got 3 or 4 tabs automatically that sort of go through everything from who's hiring, what businesses are still open, what restaurants are available for takeout, what specials might they have, all of the information you could want on SBA loans and some other things. Another thing that we've been doing is we've been doing video chats with our members. Starting last week, myself and our policy chair, Justin Furrow, did one on the federal phase 2 legislation. We're actually planning on doing one Thursday to hopefully have a phase 3 package that has been passed from the Senate and hopefully the House. We've done stuff on continuity planning for small businesses. We had Mayor Burke on. We had Lynn Chestnut from the Tennessee Small Business Development Center talking about SBA disaster loans. We had a lawyer talking about steps to protect your business. So we're trying to do a lot of these things to be able to make sure that we have everything we need and allow our members to access and ask questions. And then once those are done, we actually file the video online. You can find them on the website and through our social media feeds at Chattanooga Area Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, and Tennessee Chamber is tnchamber.org/coronavirus, and you'll see lots of resources on there. It gets updated almost daily. And if you just camp there for just a second, you'll get a pop-up that'll let you sign up. Guys, we send out, and you guys probably get it, a daily update that really we think distributes everything that we know to our members. This is a really, really fluid situation, so it'll all be in there, including some really valuable information. So sign up for that there. Guys, let's close this thing down. Thank you very much for doing this. We'll be back together next time under much better circumstances.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, keep up all the great work you guys are doing in Nashville. And Ryan, thank you guys for the information push you guys are doing. It's all very helpful and great. Appreciated from our end.
Yes, I echo that. Thank you for including us, giving us a seat at the table to talk about what we're doing and how we can all universally come together to see this thing passes. So thank you.
Very good. Guys, you have a great week.
You too. Take care. Bye.
Thanks.